difficult to decide what a perfect system of local government and a perfect system of devolution within England would look like. But I do think, to be fair, this government is moving in a direction of which I approve in this area. So expanding both the powers of existing metro mayors and making sure that more of the country benefits from the mayoral combined authority model. The one area of difference that I have, I think, with the government is that I'm not convinced that it's necessarily right everywhere in the UK. It's in the nature of English local government that we've never really had perfect uniformity, and perfect uniformity may not be the ideal end goal, but overall, moving towards unitarisation and then having mayoral combined authorities, I think provides the right mix of accountability, but also the exercise of power at an appropriate level in order to get big things done. I think that the ideal is to move towards a situation where metro mayors have more extensive planning powers, and that seems to be very much in the pipeline, but also critically, they have a greater degree of autonomy over tax and spend. It's very difficult in this country for reasons that Ed Balls and researchers at King's have pointed out, because of the way in which over time, for entirely understandable reasons, taxation has been centralised. And there is a fundamental challenge here, and the challenge is between autonomy and equity. So in an ideal world, one would want to give the metro mayors far greater control over taxation, and indeed local government overall far greater control over taxation. But because of some of the entrenched inequalities in our country, which of course the mayors are doing a great deal to address, we nevertheless require a transfer of resources that means that the ideal level of autonomy that one would want to have at local level is difficult to deliver, certainly over the short term. There are a number of challenges that one automatically faces if you're arguing in favour of devolution. Some of them are institutional, some of them are political. So there are some government departments that, irrespective of who heads them, have a sort of character. I wouldn't want to overstate it, but they have a character which tends to be centralising. So DWP and the Treasury in particular seek to administer across the United Kingdom in a way which, and again, they're driven by reasons of equity and efficiency as they see it. They do not like inconsistency. They do not like the notion that, for example, a different approach towards welfare might be taken in Greater Manchester, or that their overall control of tax should be subverted, and certainly of borrowing should be subverted by what happens at a local level. So institutionally, they're opposed. There have been some challenges both in Cambridge. There are some specific challenges there because of the range of different bodies that have a stake in Cambridge's growth and because of Cambridge's importance to the nation's economy. And there have also been some issues in the west of England, in the greater Bristol area as well. But I don't think these are insuperable, or I don't think it's impossible to overcome them. But again, I would say that there are some parts of the country where the mayoral model may not work, but I think the key thing to do is to make sure that in those areas where it's been established, hard work is undertaken in order to ensure that the functions of the mayor are clear, the relationship with other authorities is clear, and the mayor can get on and deliver. And those local authority areas that may want to hang back, I hope would be able to see the benefits of that model in the future, so that they want to get on board rather than hang back. One thing I should say is that I'm hopeful that we will see in Norfolk and Suffolk the sort of progress that we were driving in the past. I think the government paused there, but I don't think it was because they're necessarily hostile to the idea. I think they just wanted to make sure that Jim McMahon and others could get an approach that they believed was coherent and unified. So from my point of view, the jury will be out, but I'm not critical at this stage. The most important thing is I can understand why people want to talk about revolutions, but the most important thing is just to concentrate on the detail, concentrate on an effective partnership with mayors, and do as we did with Andy Burnham, to say, with greater power comes greater accountability. This was the argument that he always made. This is the argument that Andy Street always made. What they want is a light shone on their performance. These are big guys who are confident in their ability to deliver, and they welcome scrutiny. So that's the critical thing. Make sure that as you hand over these powers, and that they're the right mix, which will actually ensure that there is change on the ground, also make sure that there is an appropriate method of scrutiny and accountability there to help revive democracy at a local level.